watchers, and welcome back. Today we are going to be looking at how to order at an Ethiopian restaurant. I'm going to go over a bunch of the different types of food you can order and then some of the simple phrases that you can use at an Ethiopian restaurant. You can see here in this first photo that we've got a bunch of different types of foods sitting all on a plate of Injera, which is like that flat bread, but we'll go into that a little more. All right, let's get into it. So the first word that we're just going to look at is the infinitive form of the verb to eat in Amharic. To eat is mablat. This follows the same me prefix for verbs in the infinitive form. So mablat, that's to eat in Amharic. And then you can see I've included the Amharic like Fidel spelling of it as well. Next, the word for restaurant in Amharic is ምግብ ቤት. ምግብ ቤት, which means literally house of food. ምግብ in Amharic is food, beit is house. So when you put them together, you get ምግብ ቤት. Next, we have the staple of Ethiopian cuisine, which is Injera, which is a flat sort of sourdough bread that we use to eat most of our cuisine. A lot of the Ethiopian dishes are very stew-like, and we put them on the Injera bread, and then we also use the Injera to scoop up the food and to eat. And so if you go out for Ethiopian food, it's common to just say, let's go out for Injera, because chances are any Ethiopian dish you have is going to be served with Injera. So here, I have a picture of lentil stew. In another one of my videos where I was in an Ethiopian restaurant in Paris, I actually ordered this, so I'll link to that below. This lentil stew is called Misset. And it is red here, but it's not necessarily spicy. It just depends on how the person makes it. But yeah, lentil stew, Misset. Misset. So probably one of the most common Ethiopian dishes is called tibs. It's like just pan-fried beef and onions, and depending on how you make it, you can have a lot more things in it. Like people will put tomatoes and garlic and jalapeno peppers and other things. So it all really sort of depends on like the chef, but sort of at its base, it's just kind of like beef and onions cooked with like Ethiopian butter and other spices. And so that's tibs. Tibs. Whenever I go to an Ethiopian restaurant with someone who's not Ethiopian and they want to know what to order, the safest bet, something that they will like for sure like, assuming that they eat meat, is tibs. So next to the tibs, when you order at a restaurant, generally they'll give you a side of salad, and salad in Amharic is salata. So it kind of sounds similar. For salad, we have salata. Salad, salata. So next, we have Gomen. Gomen is essentially an Ethiopian version of like collard greens. So yeah, I have a picture here. It's called Gomen. And so you can have Gomen prepared with meat or without meat. It just depends on like how you ask for it. Yeah, Gomen. It's like an Ethiopian collard greens almost. So here we have some Ethiopian bread. And bread in Amharic is pronounced dabo. dabo. So it's common for, not at a restaurant, but like if you're at someone's house, they would serve you your food with injera, and then maybe also on the side some dabo. Dabo is also kind of, it's more like for a snack. Like you'd have dabo like with coffee or with like tea, like just as you were like sitting around and talking. But it's also, you could have it like with your food as well, I guess. But it's more common as like a snack, like shai dabo or something. Shai is tea in Amharic. So another Ethiopian dish we have is shiro. Shiro. So shiro is an Ethiopian, another stew, which is primarily made of like chickpeas. Yeah, shiro. It's generally like this orange color, and it's really tasty. Shiro. The next Ethiopian dish we have is kitfo. Kitfo is essentially like minced beef and cooked with Ethiopian spices. And the thing about kitfo is you can serve it very rare and even like uncooked as well. And there's basically just like a range of cooking levels that you can serve it. Kitfo is generally regarded as like one of like the most popular dishes, or a lot of people's favorite dish. And there are different styles of having it. So tere, which means like totally raw, lebleb, which is kind of browned, and then you could just have it like completely cooked, which is another totally valid option. So some drinks in Amharic. For water, we have wuha. Water is wuha. For soda, we have leslasa. Soda is leslasa. And then for beer, we have bira. Bira. And then a traditional Ethiopian drink, like a honey wine, is called tej. Tej, that's a very common and like popular drink in Ethiopia. Usually, it's always had at like holidays as well. Here in this picture, I have pictured a Morinda, which is a very popular Ethiopian soft drink. It's like an orange soda. It's like very sweet. It's really, really good. Very popular with kids. So now just a couple of short phrases. So if you were to ask your server about what sort of dish that you wanted, so if you wanted to say, I want a, or I want one, you would say and in Amharic is one. So you'd say and then insert whatever you want, እፈልጋለሁ, and then you could say እባክሽ or እባክህ, depending on if you're talking to a boy or a girl, to say please. So if you wanted to say like I want one water, please. አንድ ውሃ እፈልጋለሁ እባክሽ. And that's just saying, can I have one water? I want one water. Or if they were asking you what you wanted to eat, you could say, oh, like ጥብስ እፈልጋለሁ እባክሽ. Like, can I have ጥብስ? You wouldn't necessarily need to say one. You don't necessarily say one ጥብስ, but if you just want to say, I want ጥብስ እፈልጋለሁ እባክሽ, or እባክህ. If you wanted to ask if they had something at the restaurant, you could say the thing that you want, and then አለ. So is it there? Is it available? Is it there? So if you wanted to ask if they had Morinda, for example, you'd say Morinda አለ. Or if you wanted to ask if they have Gomen, you can say Gomen አለ. To get the attention of your server or of someone, you can say ይቅርታ. ይቅርታ is how you say excuse me. It's just a polite way to get attention. Same as in English. ይቅርታ would be excuse me. Let's eat. In Amharic, to say let's eat, you can say እንብላ. እንብላ. Let's eat. If you wanted to ask someone to eat, you just sort of turn that into a question, same word. እንብላ. Like, should we eat? Let's eat. እንብላ. If the server or someone asks you, the host asks you, how's the food? You can say ጥሩ ነው. ጥሩ ነው. That means it's great. So yeah, if you just want to say that the food is good, you can say ጥሩ ነው. It's great. And then finally, asking for the check. So you want to start with ይቅርታ, so excuse me. And then hisab, it translates to check in Amharic. And then you should say please at the end. And then depending on if you're speaking to a man or a woman, you could say for a man እባክህ, or for a woman እባክሽ. So get their attention politely. ይቅርታ, hisab እባክሽ, or hisab እባክህ. And then they'll bring it to you, and then you know what to do from there. So yeah, definitely go over these phrases and practice these for the next time you go to an Ethiopian restaurant. Ethiopian food is amazing, so definitely go out and try it. There are Ethiopian restaurants all over the world, so I'm sure there's one fairly close to wherever you live. And try to use a little bit of Amharic, regardless of whether you're Ethiopian or not. It will be a great treat to the owners of the restaurant as well. And it'll be a really, really good way for you to learn, and you'll get some amazing food out of it as well. Okay, take care. Until next time.